Generation Y. They haven't exactly got the best rap in recent years. We're told they're on their phones too much and they've got their headphones in too often. Well, Livin Lush is a web series which is here to scratch beneath the surface and find the most driven personalities of this generation and see how our leaders of tomorrow are shaping up. In this episode, we'll be talking to Wallaby Nick Phipps, Melbourne Rebels Vice-Captain Hugh Pyle and Australian Women's Sevens star Tiana Penitani. Did you ever think as a kid that you'd be living the dream of being a professional rugby player?
You know, having a dream, I guess, but it was never really any of a serious dream. I just loved playing footy with all my mates. I loved playing. That was probably the main reason I liked footy, just being able to get out there with all the boys every weekend, train a couple of times a week and just enjoy yourself. And I guess the more I enjoyed it, the further I went along and the further I kept going.
What springs to mind when I mention the name Nick Phipps?
He's genuinely the hardest working bloke that I've ever met. He's got that natural talent, but he doesn't kind of lean on that. He's the first one in the mornings and the last one out at nights. He puts his body through absolute hell, and he you know, he gets the rewards from it. He's pretty inspirational in that aspect. That you know, you see a lot of blokes that kind of get to this level and they kind of rest on it. He's always pushing, always pushing.
For me, I was just, you know, something that's life, that's footy. You don't get picked, but what can you do? And just keep enjoying yourself in the team you're in, and you don't want to let them down rather than striving for things and letting it get in the way of what you're trying to do back at home. You know, you're only as good as your last game and you're only as good as your next training. The way things go, you could have a career-ending injury tomorrow and never be able to play again.
Last year you made Australian history books in sport by being the youngest player ever to play Rugby Union for Australia at the Moscow Sevens World Cup. How does that feel to be a part of Australian sporting history?
It's an honour to tell you that much, but I guess going over into Moscow, being 17 and the youngest player in the tournament was the last thing on my mind. You know, the girls treat me equally, or the other opposition definitely treat me equally, so I was just focused on footy, but it's definitely an honour to be in the history books.
What are the challenges that come with the pressure of being a professional athlete?
I actually find it really difficult to a lot of social situations. All my mates are from Sydney and I've had to move away from them, and they do stuff together over a weekend that I miss out on, and same with my family. I'm not living near my family at the moment.
For me personally, I find it difficult to comprehend when, you know, you have a loss and the papers and social media and TV, everything's sort of against you. You get people from all over the world that don't know you sort of putting in their own 2 cents, and either, you know, you win and everyone's on a high and everyone loves you, but then you lose and you're getting cracked at and stuff like that. So we do lead a very sort of privileged life. We're very lucky to be doing what we're doing. That's not lost upon anyone in the club. You know, the trade-offs, you're still winning at the end of the day.
What is your favourite ground to play on in the world?
Probably the favourite ground I've got to play on. I've played on it 3 times is Twickenham. It's, you know, the birthplace of rugby, I guess. It's a very special feeling, sort of standing there singing your anthem in front of a hostile crowd. It's very special, you know. You just got your 23 mates on the sideline with you, and your mates on the sideline standing there. So it's pretty inspiring.
When you see guys like Nick Phipps or Curtly Beale, the guys in the 15-a-side game playing for the Wallabies, what do you personally draw from that when you see them playing on the telly or playing live?
Honestly, I just look at their composure with the crowd around them, like knowing what that feels like running out in Hong Kong Sevens and London Sevens, even with massive crowds like that. I admire the composure that they have on the field, and that they're able to play at such a high level and still stay composed, block it all out around them. So that's one thing that I take from those players.
Now tell me, in the 14 times you've worn the jersey for Australia, is there any moment in particular that stands out for you that you just won't forget, and that's always going to be there as your standout moment today?
Yeah, it was Twickenham again. We had a spring tour where we were riddled with injuries. We had a lot of injuries in our team, and we went over to Paris first game playing France, and we got absolutely dusted. I think it was about 32-7 or something like that. So, you know, we were copping a lot of heat back home. We're all pretty disappointed about it, but next week we travelled to England, and at Twickenham playing England, they were I think 6 games on the trot, and we got over them. So I was quite lucky to set up Nick Cummins for his first try, the Honey Badger, and then we managed to get the win, grind out the win at the end. It was pretty special feeling, sort of bouncing back from a massive loss to a big win, and sort of representing Australia in the best light possible in Twickenham especially.